Good day, Madam Surya and fellow friends. Today, my group will present tourism market in economic view. We have selected tourism market during the pandemic, which showed a significant downfall before the pandemic hit our world. Into the rapidly changing landscape, it is imperative to delve into the profound effect of the COVID-19 outbreak on the once booming tourism market in Malaysia. This investigation serves a critical purpose to unravel the intricate web of consequences that the pandemic has woven throughout the global tourism industry. By examining shift in demand, supply, and market equilibrium, we aim to shed light on the nuanced and interconnected forces that have reshaped the tourism sector. As the pandemic unfolded, travel patterns, consumer behavior, and industry operation experienced unprecedented transformation, necessitating a comprehensive understanding of the emerging dynamic. Our focus extends beyond mere observation to a deeper analysis of how these changes reverberate across the entire tourism ecosystem, from the fluctuating consumer preference and altered destination choices to the adaptability of supply chains and the resilience of a market equilibrium. Every facet requires careful observation. So join us in this exploration as we embark on a journey to uncover the multifaceted impact of the COVID-19 outbreak, recognizing that only through the holistic understanding that we can pave the way of informed decision and strategy initiative of post-pandemic era. So, before we dive into the details of our group assignment, let's get to know the fantastic team members who have been working diligently to bring this insightful knowledge. As for myself, my name is Voo Chung Hong, and along with my amazing team members, Adlan bin Abdul Nazar, Azhari Bin Subri, Fitri bin Radzali, and Farhan bin Abdul Malek. And we would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to Madam Surya for all the insightful knowledge for the economy subject. Thank you. Next, we compare tourism statistics for the year 2019 and 2020 as shown in this slide. In 2019, Malaysia experienced a robust tourism industry with 26.1 million international tourist arrival and 86.1 billion ringgit Malaysia in tourism revenue. However, the COVID-19 pandemic significantly impacted the tourism sector in 2020. International tourist arrival declined to 4.33 million and tourism revenue decreased to 12.7 billion ringgit Malaysia. This represents a substantial decline in tourist arrival and tourism revenue compared to the previous year. The pandemic led to the closure of borders and travel restrictions, causing a sharp decline in international tourism globally. Malaysia, like many other countries, faced challenges in tourism industry due to the pandemic, resulting in a significant decrease in tourist arrival and tourism revenue. On the other hand, Malaysia domestic tourism sector recorded 239.1 million domestic visitor arrival. However, in 2020, the domestic tourism sector experienced a decline with 131.7 million domestic visitor arrival. This represents a significant decrease of 44.9% compared to the previous year. The COVID-19 pandemic and the associated travel restriction had a substantial travel impact on domestic tourism in Malaysia, leading to a decrease in the domestic visitor arrival. The decline in domestic tourism mirrored the challenges faced by the international tourism sector due to the pandemic. To address the impact of the pandemic on domestic tourism, Malaysia has been implementing measures to promote and support domestic travel, aiming to stimulate the recovery of the domestic tourism sector. These include conducting surveys to understand the sentiments and preference of domestic tourism, as well as promoting Malaysia as a safe and attractive tourist destination. Overall, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a notable impact on both international and domestic tourism in Malaysia, with efforts and focus of revitalizing the domestic tourism sector and promoting safe and enjoyable travel experience for both international and domestic travelers. Next, we move on to the vital role of tourism in global prosperity. As shown, tourism is a major economic driver contributing to GDP growth and providing foreign exchange earning for many countries. It is a significant source of employment providing opportunity for a diverse range of skill and expertise. The growth of the tourism sector often leads to the development of infrastructure, such as airports, roads, and public facilities, which benefit both tourists and local residents. Tourism also promotes cultural exchange and understanding between different regions and countries. It is also played a role in preserving and promoting local tradition, heritage site, and ingenious craft, contributing to the preservation of cultural diversity. Tourism can be a catalyst for regional development, particularly in rural and remote areas. It can help diversity, local economy, reduce regional wealth disparities, and provide opportunity for a small and medium-sized enterprise. Tourism is a significant source of foreign exchange earning for many countries, contributing to the balance of payments and helping to stabilize their economies. Sustainability tourism practice can contribute to the conservation of natural resources and the protection of ecosystem. Many destinations rely on the natural beauty and biodiversity to attract tourists, making environmental conservation a priority for a long-term sustainability of the tourism sector. In 2020, the COVID-19 outbreak significantly impacted the demand tourism industry, leading to change in how tourists spend their money. The largest portion of tourist spending was on shopping, accounting for 35.4% of total expenditure, followed by accommodation at 23.4% and the food and beverage at 14.6%. Despite the overall decrease in tourism spending, certain areas such as organized tour, local transportation, and international airfare experienced positive growth rates of 1.9%, 1.5%, and 0.4% respectively. In conclusion, the outbreak of COVID-19 have a significant impact on the demand for tourism services in Malaysia. The decline in tourist arrival and tourism receipt has a significant impact on the tourism industry revenue. The decline in tourism receipt was mainly due to the decrease in the number of international tourist arrival. However, some components of expenditure such as organized tour, local transportation, and international airfare recorded with positive growth. That's all.
Assalamualaikum, and today I will present on the microeconomic theory supply and factors changing supply. So, for the supply and factors changing supply, for the introduction in terms of impact to the tourism industry due to the COVID-19 seasons. The COVID-19 pandemic had a profound impact on the supply side of the tourism industry worldwide, including in Malaysia or any country. The supply side refers to the business, resources, and infrastructure that provide goods and services within the tourism sector. So here we have 7 points for the impact of tourism sector or industry due pandemic COVID-19. First is travel restrictions and lockdowns. Second is closure to borders. Third, health and safety protocols. And next, the air traveling. And for the fifth, closure of businesses and hotel accommodation changes. The last is a tourism workforce. We go through for the travel restriction and the lockdown. So for this point, one of the most impactful factors was the implementation of travel restriction and lockdowns, which severely limited the movement of people both domestically and internationally. For the next point is a closure to border. So for the closure to the border is the closure of the international borders significantly reduce the number of foreign tourists entering their country, leading to a substantial drop in the international tourism related services. So for the next is the health and safety protocol. So the health and safety protocol is created for the people in that country that had their proper guideline or instruction to control and keep their health in a good level as well. So the main purpose to every country to help governments for controlling the pandemic by creating the protocol. So the implementation of health and safety protocols, including social distancing measures and hygiene standards, affected the supply chain within the tourism sector. So in terms of business, had to adapt the operation to comply with this protocol, impacting capacity and service delivery. So the next point is the supply within tourism, businesses and aviation sector or air traveling. So the four closure of business. Many tourism related to businesses including hotel, restaurants, tour operators and transportation services faced the temporary closures or even permanent shutdown due to the lockdowns and restrictions. So this led to a significant reduction in the overall supply of tourism services. The businesses also got the impact regarding to this pandemic. Supply totally goes down abnormally in terms of financial strain on businesses. The next point is that air traveling. The company that related to the air traveling also had to receive the impact from COVID-19. The aviation sector, a crucial component of the tourism supply chain, was significantly impacted as airlines faced operational challenges, reduced flight frequencies and financial difficulties. For the hotel and accommodation changes due to this pandemic, hotels and others accommodation providers face a decline in occupancy rates due to travel restrictions and reduced demands. So some hotels adapted by offering quarantine package or transforming their facilities to meet the new health and safety standards. So some hotels cannot hold their businesses during pandemic because of less demand from the local tourists and the foreign tourists. So many methods they had to try to get their income during this pandemic COVID-19. Fortunately, some of them goes down and fail to keep their businesses strength. Okay, for the last point is a tourism workforce. This point also got affected during this COVID-19. So for the tourism workforce was significantly affected, with many employees facing job losses, furloughs, or reduced working hours. This had implications for the supply of skills laborers in the tourism industry. Many workers in the industry affected and they are struggling to maintain their jobs, but some of them fired by their employer because of the company can't survive during this pandemic. Okay, that's all from my side to presenting on this my point. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Adlan. So I'm going to talk about the elasticity of demand and supply. So this consists of three points, which is number one is elasticity of demand, number two is elasticity of supply, and the overall impact. So for the first one, elasticity of demand, we can see the decrease in demand. So the pandemic led to a sharp decrease in the demand of tourism services due to the travel restriction, fear of infection, and economic uncertainty. So this decrease in demand was likely highly elastic, as even a small changes in the price, example travel costs, or non-price factor, example health risk, led to a significant reduction in the quantity demanded. So number two is elasticity of supply. So reduce in the capacity. So the supply of tourism services experience a significant reduction due to lockdown, major travel bans, and closure of hospitality establishments. This reduction in supply was likely inelastic in the short term, as it was challenging for tourism businesses to quickly adjust their capacity to match with the decreased demand. So number three is the overall impact. So the pandemic caused a substantial imbalance between demand and supply in the tourism market. So leading up to a surplus of tourism services and lack of consumer demand. So the elasticity of demand and supply in the tourism market was influenced by factors such as health concern, government regulations, the availability of substitutes, resulting in a complex and dynamic market environment. So the COVID-19 pandemic significantly altered the elasticity of demand and the supply in the tourism market, leading to a sharp decrease in demand and a constrained supply of tourism services. So the market dynamic shifted as the businesses and consumers adapted to a new realities imposed by the pandemic. Next, I'm going to talk about the responsiveness to price changes and supply constraint in the tourism market. So I'm going to explain about the pre-pandemic and also during the pandemic. So the first one is responsiveness to price changes. So during the, before the pandemic, the Malaysian tourism industry was thriving, and the demand for the tourism services was relatively elastic. So consumers were willing to pay high prices for the travel accommodations, and the industry was generating a significant revenue. So during the pandemic, the pandemic led to a sharp decrease in demand for tourism services, and consumers became more price sensitive. As a result, businesses had to lower their price to attract customers, and some even offer discounts and promotional package. The responsiveness to price changes become more elastic, as consumers were more sensitive to change in price due to the economic uncertainty and reduced disposable income. Number two is responsiveness to supply constraint. So for pre-pandemic, before the pandemic, the supply of tourism services was relatively inelastic, as businesses had limited capacity to adjust to change in demand. So the industry was operating at full capacity, and there was little room for expansion. So during the pandemic led to a significant reduction in supply of tourism services. As businesses had to close down or operate at reduced capacity due to lockdown measures and travel restrictions, the responsiveness to supply constraint became more elastic as businesses had to adapt the changing market condition by offering virtual tourism experience and promotional package. Some business uh, also had to lay off employees or reduce their salary to cut costs. So overall, the COVID-19 pandemic led to a significant shift in the responsiveness to price changes and supply constraint in the tourism market. So the demand uh, for tourism services become more elastic as consumers become more price sensitive and shifted their preference to a safer alternative. Next, the supply of tourism services become more elastic as businesses had to adapt to the changing market condition by offering virtual experience and promotional package. Next, the pandemic led to a significant imbalance between demand and supply in the tourism market, resulting in surplus of tourism services and lack of consumer demand. And the last one, the uh, responsiveness to price changes and supply constraint in the tourism market evolved significantly during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hi madam, my name is Muhammad Farhan bin Abdul Malek. Now I would like to present to you about how the effect of market equilibrium for Malaysia tourism during pandemic COVID-19. Equilibrium is state in which market supply and demands balance each other, and as a result price become stable. Generally, an oversupply of goods or service cause price to go down, which result in higher demand, while an undersupply or shortage cause price to go up, resulting in less demand. As seen in the diagram, the tourism industry decline in supply and decline in demand resulted in an increase in price equilibrium P2 and fall in quality equilibrium Q2. Price increase are inevitable due to rising operating costs because some tourism restriction must be made as part of a standard operating procedure SOP mandated by the government to diminish the infectiousness of COVID-19. Operating costs are rising. In addition, the restriction on the numbers of visitors in a certain area resulted like hotel having to raise their rates in order to make mark up for the revenue they lost as a result of the increased tourist count. There are several factors that lead to change in demand and supply during the pandemic. Factors that affecting demand is first travel restriction and lockdowns. Strict travel restriction and lockdowns were imposed by government across the world, including Malaysia. To stop the virus spread, there was a significant drop in demand for tourism service because of these policies, which severely restricted both internal and foreign travel. Second, economic uncertainty. Many people experience financial hardship, job loss, and economic uncertainty because of the pandemic. Consumer confidence dropped because of lower discretionary income and financial worries, which affected their desire to spend money on non-essential product and service like tourism. Third, closure of entertainment and leisure facilities. Many tourist attraction, entertainment venues, and leisure facilities were temporarily closed or operate under restriction, reducing the overall appeal of travel destination. The closure of such attraction contributed to a decrease in demand for tourism. Now we move to factor that affecting supply. First is a closure of business. Many business within the tourism sector, including like hotels, restaurant, airlines, and tour operators, face closure or operational disruption due to the decline in demand. This lead to a decrease in the overall supply of tourism service. Second, workforce challenges. The tourism industry face challenge related to workforce availability and retention, layoff, fallouts, and difficulties in rehiring staff impacted the ability of business to operate at full capacity, further reducing supply. Third, travel and movement restriction. There are restriction and lockdowns not only affected demand but also limited the ability of business to operate. Airlines face reduced flight schedule, hotels experience low occupancy rate, and tour operators struggle with cancellation. All this contributing to a decrease in supply. This is a real-time news that to support the fact and analysis about market equilibrium for Malaysia tourism. According to Malay Mail, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on Malaysia tourism industry, with an estimated loss of 3.37 billion ringgit in the first 2 months of this year. According to Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, Malaysia GDP growth is predicted to increase by 0.8 to 1.2% point this year. Up to 17.3 billion ringgit is considered to represent the entire potential loss to the GDP. The travel and tourist, SME business, and transportation sector are the most severely impacted economic sector. Problems like cancel trip package had a ripple effect that affect hotels, airlines, and other associated industries. To mitigate the economic effect of COVID-19, Interim Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad unveiled the Stimulus Package 2020, which is worth 20 billion ringgit. It should be highlighted, nonetheless, that this stimulus plan may cause the budget deficit of the country to increase from 3.2% to 3.4% of GDP. Prime Minister gave an assurance that the government would keep carefully eyes on the economic stimulus package implementation to make sure it has a immediate positive impact on the populace and the economy. This news story focused on the economic difficulties Malaysia is facing as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak and the steps the government is taking to alleviate these difficulties through pandemic stimulus program.
Hello madam, my name is Muhammad Fitri bin Radzali. My ID number is 2023 722347. Today I will present about intervention by government to support the tourism during COVID-19 pandemic. We have 6 points. Firstly is financial support. Government has provided financial aids, guardian and loan to tourism business to help them survive to the economy downtrodden caused by the pandemic. This financial intervention have been essential in preventing widespread closure and jobless within the industry. Secondly, tax relief. Government has offered tax relief measure to alleviate the finance burden on tourism business. They included tax breaks, deferrals, and exemptions to help business manage their cash flow during the crisis. Thirdly, promotional campaign. Government has launched domestic tourism campaign to encourage local travel and stimulate demand within the country. This campaign aimed to boost the domestic tourism sector and support local business. Fourth, health and safety guidelines. Government has implemented health and safety guidelines and protocol to ensure the safe operation of tourism business. These measures are designed to instill confidence in travelers and protect both tourists and industrial workers. Fourth, training and development program. Government has initiated training and development program to help tourism business adapt to the new operating environment. This include providing resources for the business to engage their digital capabilities and customer service standard. Lastly, for intervention by government is international collaboration. Government has engaged in international collaboration to establish travel corridors, bubbles, or agreements with other countries to facilitate safe international travel. This initiative aim to gradually reopen international tourism while prioritize public health and safety. Policy and regulation support measures affecting the tourism industry. Firstly, travel restriction. Government imposed travel restriction including border closure, quarantine requirement, and entrance bans to control the spread of the virus. This measure had a direct impact on international tourism, leading to a sharp decline in the tourism arrival. Secondly, financial assistance for tourism business. Government offer financial assistance, grants, and loans to support business in the tourism sector, such as hotel, airlines, and travel agency. This measure aim to prevent widespread bankruptcy and job losses within the industry. Third, health and safety regulation. Government implement health and safety regulation measure including hygiene protocol, social distancing requirement, and certificate program to demonstrate compliance within health standard SOP. Promotional campaign. Government launched professional campaign to boost the local tourism industry by urging residents to explore their own countries while international travel was restricted. Lastly, collaboration within industry stakeholders. Government collaborated with industry stakeholders to development and implement recovery plan. This involved dialogues with its airlines, hotel associates, and tourism boards to address challenges collectively and strategies for the industry recovery. Sorry, madam. Key finding regarding the impact of COVID-19 on tourism market. Firstly, drastic decline international tourist arrival. The global tourism market experienced a significant decline in international tourism arrival due to travel restriction, border closure, and fear for infection, according to the World Tourism Organization. Its international tourism arrival dropped by about 74% in 2020 compared to the previous year. Secondly, shift in travel pattern. Travel pattern shifted significantly with a rise domestic tourism and a decline in international travel. Tourists prefer destinations perceived as safer and closer to home, leading to a surge in interest for nature-based and outdoor activities. Thirdly, impact on accommodations and transportation. Hotel, resort, and other accommodation providers experienced a sharp decline in booking, leading to revenue losses. Airlines face reduced passenger demand, flight cancel, and financial strains due to a ground fleet and operational challenges. Fourth, challenges for small and medium-sized enterprise SMEs. Small and medium-sized enterprise within the tourism sector face higher challenges as they often lack the financial resilience to withstand prolonged disruptions. Many SMEs struggle to survive, leading to closure and job losses in the local community. Lastly, for key finding is economy losses and job displacement. The tourism industry suffering economy losses with business facing revenue decline, closure and bankruptcy. The World Travel and the Tourism Council WTTC estimate a global losses of millions of jobs, particularly in sectors like hospitality, aviation, and travel agency. Next, I will present about challenges and disruptions faced by the tourism industry. We have 6 points about challenges. Firstly, travel restrictions and border closure. Stringent travel restriction, border closure, and quarantine requirement disrupts international travel, hindering in the movement of tourists and leading to widespread cancellation of booking. Secondly, health and safety concern. Fear of infection and concern about health and safety become primary barriers to travel. Tourists were hesitant to venue into crowded space, affecting popular tourism attraction, cruise ship, and urban destination. Third, economic strain on business. The tourism industry characterized by high degree of seasonality and fixed costs face economic strain. Many businesses, especially smaller ones, struggle to cover operational costs, leading to closure and financial distress. Fourth, job losses and economic impact. The tourism sector was a major source of employment global. Job losses and income reduced and occurred across various segments, including accommodation, food service, transportation, and entertainment, exacerbating economic challenges in many regions. Recently and futures planning, the unpredictable nature of the pandemic created uncertain for the tourism industry. Business found in challenges to plan their future given the involved nature travel restrictions, vaccination effort, and the overall trajectory of the pandemic. Lastly, of the challenges is digital transformation and adaptation. The industry face the need more rapid digital transformation and adaptation to new technology to facilitate contactless transaction, implement health protocol, and meet changing consumer expectation. Thank you.
Okay, now I will presenting on the offer of recommendation for recovery and adaptation for businesses in tourism sector. So the first one is a health and safety measures. Implementing effective health and safety measure is crucial for businesses, especially in sector like tourism, to ensure to build the well-being of employees and customers. So for the implement stringent health and safety protocols to reassure customers. This may include a regular sanitizing, temperature checks, and other measures to prevent the spread of infections. Clearly communicate your safety measures through marketing channels to build trust among potential customers. For the next point is a flexible bookings and cancellation policies. Implementing flexible bookings and cancellation policies is a crucial strategy for businesses, especially in the tourism sector, to accommodate uncertainties and provide reassurance to customers. Offers flexible bookings and cancellation policy to accommodate uncertainties, and this can help ease the concern to travelers and encourage bookings. For the next point is a digital transformations. Embrace digital tools and technologies to enhance the customer's experience. Invest in user-friendly website, mobile apps, online booking system to streamline the reservation process. Utilize virtual tours or augmented reality experiences to showcase destinations and attractions. So for the digital transformation involves the integration of digital technologies into all aspects of a business, fundamentally changing how it operates and delivers value to customers. In the context of the tourism sectors, embracing digital transformations can enhance customer experiences, streamline operations, and improve overall efficiency. For the next point is a diversification of offerings. Diversity your tourism offerings to cater to changing preference. For the example, is a focus on the nature-based or outdoor activities, wellness, tourism, or sustainable travel experiences. Collaborate with the local businesses to create unique packages that provide a more comprehensive experience for travelers. Diversifying offerings in the tourism sector involves expanding the range of products and services to attract a broader customer base and adapt to change market demand. And next is financial planning and the government support. In terms of this point, conduct a true financial analysis and planning to ensure the business financial resilience. Explore government support programs or grants that may be available for businesses in the tourism sector. Financial planning and government support are critical components for the businesses, especially in the tourism sector. It is for to navigate challenges and ensure the sustainability. Okay, that's all for the recommendation from my side. Okay, thank you.